What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. So as you saw from the last video, the reveal, I did get a 2019 leftover Super Duke. So right now what I'm trying to do is I want to wash these bikes because the GSA hasn't been washed in a long time. So this is going to be a bike wash video. I'll show you, I guess, my method. I think I did this in the past before, but I'll try to be as detailed as I can this time around. I'm filming with a GoPro so I can be mobile. As you can see, the Super Duke is not that dirty, but every time, when I buy something, when I buy a new bike, it's not, totally clean. There's like a lot of, I don't know if you guys can see, there's just a lot of grime marks that's like dried up. So basically, I think they just hosed it down, and look at the wheels. Like this is supposed to be delivered, brand new and all that stuff. It is brand new, leftover 2019, so it wasn't cleaned up. So yeah, we're gonna go just wash this one, but the GSA is much worse because you can see all the bugs. This is my everyday daily basically. So we're just gonna go ahead and wash it, and I'll show you guys my process. I guess I'll start with the GSA because that's the hardest one with all the shapes and stuff. So I'll show you the tools that I use for that. All right, guys. So here we are. I got it all set up for you guys so you can see what I'm using here. And so we're gonna be washing the GSA today because it's the dirtiest of all the both bikes. So you can see all the bugs and everything there. Being a daily rider, it's just it gets everything. So what I'll be using today is just these tools. I have a power washer. But lately I've been lazy using that because I have to set it up and connect it to the hose. I don't have it always connected. I don't have a setup like that. So I'm using one bucket. Sometimes I use 2 buckets if it's like a Ducati, because of the paint. Bikes like this, it's pretty naked for the most part. So this is good enough for me. I mean, it depends on, you can be as kind of anal as you want to be. For the bikes, I'm not so anal about it. I just be careful of dunking the water and make sure the grit guard and everything else is rinsed before I touch the bike again. But that's why you have a grit guard down here. So I have a brush for the detailed stuff like the controls, the handlebars, hard to reach places, the engine. So this one you can use this one too, but this is more of a kind of more precise, if I can say that. And this is for wheels, mainly the wheel spokes, because the Ducati I can reach with my hand in there, but this one is kind of annoying because it has spokes in between. This one kind of helps, so you still have to use your hands sometimes. So just showing you guys my process. Any soap, you can get any soap. This one is kind of very helpful because drying the bike by hand is just super annoying too. So if you have like a leaf blower, a small one, or an air gun, that's the best because you can get into all these places and blow the air out and the water out, and you can wipe it down. So yeah, you can see all the grime, bugs and stuff like that. There's like a fine layer of dust in here too, so it doesn't show in video very well. Yeah, so the GSA, I almost have 2,000 miles on this. I know it's not a lot, but like it's most of all the bikes and this is the latest. This is much newer than the other bikes that I have currently, and this has the most miles. So it's just something that I ride every day. So that's why I like this bike. That's why I love the GSA. It's good for everything. So there you go. We're gonna start. First, I already removed my GPS. You don't want to get that wet. You don't want to risk breaking it. I don't think it can withstand water very well. So yeah, so we're just gonna get started and show you guys what I'm doing. so let's just fill up our bucket, soap and water. I don't know, for some reason sometimes this has to be shown. I don't know, so I've seen somebody wash their car and or slash bike with putting the soap on the mitt itself and then kind of spraying their hand. I don't know, it's like something you don't think about, but I've seen it happen, which is actually in my mind it's actually bad because you're actually collecting all the dust and the dirt. Like specific, you really are. You're not even trying to rinse your hand off or anything. It's just basically you take they take their soap their mitt, and then they put the soap on it and then spray the water, and then kind of just put it on the car or the bike. It just, I don't know. I didn't think that would ever happen, so I just kind of feel like I should show that this is actually. I mean, if you don't have a bucket, I guess, but like it's just kind of you're wasting a lot of product too. So I don't know. A bucket method is much better. I don't know why I feel I have to say that, but I guess I do. So now that I have that down, I usually put that in there. Same with the drying towels. They call it priming. You know, you don't just wipe your bike with a dry towel. I know when you're drying it, yes, but you want to kind of wet the towel first and wring it. So it's like priming it. So there's all the dust is gone, so that when you actually wiping it to dry, it's actually there's some lubricant in there. Like you know, it's nuances, things like that you don't really think about unless you already do. You know, it's just one of those things. Like in my mind, it's just process I built up over the years of just washing things. It's just I know I get OCD with this stuff. So let's go start. Yeah, so usually the power washer would be nice and it will have enough pressure to knock off most of the dirt and stuff like that, but lately the garden hose seems okay. Like I said, I don't have it fully set up all the time, so this is the one that's always ready. So the one that's always ready usually is what you're going to be using. There we go. So I'm just going to go rinse this down completely and start the wipe down with the soap. So we have our mitt and just get started. I have friends that have GSAs and adventure bikes that they never wash their bikes. That's fine, you know, like it's you don't really have to wash bikes, you know. You can just, it's just easier for you to see. I don't know, if you like clean things, then that's what you do. But you know, for me, that's I just like clean things. So, and I like cleaning. I'm kind of addicted to cleaning. I don't know, something about it feels satisfying when you see something like it was dirty and then now you cleaned it and it's all clean again. So it's just stuff like that. More of a personal satisfaction. It's like one of the reasons you own vehicles is like kind of, it's like they're your pets, you know. You kind of care for them and they make you happy, take care of you too, stuff like that. Just, it's like a mental therapy for me, cleaning the vehicles. So there's that. So I make sure to dip it in the grit guard, kind of rub it in there, so it kind of drops all the dirt that I've collected, and then I go back in and wipe it some more. See, most of the bugs already come off with just one wipe down with the soap. Soap's pretty good. Yeah, the a wash mitt is kind of better than just a plain rag too, because they have these piles that just get into all these different shapes of the bike. So before I go in with the brush, I've already kind of done everything that I could with my hand. So that's kind of like the idea. So I know I'm making this sound complicated as it is. It's not. It's just my personal process, and I feel like I made a video before about washing, and I just never really been kind of this specific. Actually, I'm actually hearing myself talk. It's kind of like, oh, I'm actually giving more details than last time. So I'll just finish soaping this up, and then take you guys to the brushing part. So I also want to highlight for the GSA, you have all these bars, right? You have all these bars right here. Wash mitt that you could put in your hand. It's much easier than a rag. I used to use the microfiber towel. It's just easier to hold. It's basically your own hand that has a scrubbing kind of material on it. So you have more leverage, you have more power to go into these spaces, and the rag is not falling all over the place and stuff like that. So just a little insight on that. There's some nicer design wash mitts out there. Like this one is like a cheap one. It's not like a multi kind of microfiber type one. There's some expensive kinds. So like I said, your mileage may vary, depends on how much equipment you want to have or use. So here it is. So like going through the bars here, the crash bars, it's easier when you could actually wrap your finger or your whole hand on them, and things like that. On the back here, high impact areas, just reach everything. Yeah, the bars is mainly the issue here. There's so many shapes on the GSA. There's so many shapes. All the bugs get in here on these crevices. Look at all these fins. Everywhere, it gets everywhere. So there you go. All right, so now that I'm done with the body of the bike, I go in with the brush. So also still working on the body a little bit, so I'll go into the controls. They're okay to get wet. This bike is made to go through rivers and things like that, so don't be afraid to do that with this bike. Some bikes might be more sensitive, than this, but for the GSA is the GSA. They don't they don't travel the whole world for nothing, so there you go. It's basically, this bike is a tank. Don't be afraid to get in the controls there. But later on, we're gonna blow out all the water anyway with the air gun or the leaf blower. So if you're done, once you're satisfied with the body, right? I just go from the top down. So I start from the top, go down to the engine. I pretty much got these with the mitt, but I just go through it again in finer detail with the brush. Just basically touch up, be sure you get all because these you cannot reach, like these things right here. Usually I don't touch the mitt to like the dirty areas underneath. It's just I try to avoid that because you might stain the wash mitt, and you might carry it over to other stuff, and I know it's tedious to use the brush, but in the end of the day, I feel more satisfied that I know I did what I could do, while not going too crazy on it. Just I did what I could do to prevent any more. It just makes the bike cleaner overall, and cleaner for longer periods of time, and it just looks better. Even if you put so many miles on it, just take the time to clean it up. When my first GSA, I put I think I had it at 15,000 miles. When people see it, there's like, do you take this anywhere? Because it's like 15,000, nothing, but I do use it. It doesn't look like I do because it's so clean all the time. But kind of take pride on that, so I don't really care. There you go. And just all these stuff down here, I use the brush. Yeah, so stuff like this, use the brush. There you go. That should do it. Yeah, all these, I don't clean every single part, just everything that I could reach, because, you know, not that crazy, just a little bit crazy. So, all right. So now for the wheels. The wheels, I use the brush too, just on the edge here. You can use also you can use it on tire, so that's why the brush is pretty helpful. And you can actually, it can reach kind of inside there. If you feel satisfied that it actually reached already, you don't really have to go through it with the other wheel brush. I usually, if I have my two hands later off camera, I usually spin this so I can reach the inside or behind this suspension here. So this fork, so I clean that, clean the edge, make sure there's no dirt there. So once I go down to this level of the bike, I don't touch the upper parts. So I don't touch the windshield, I don't touch the anything else up top. So once you're, that's why I used to, even though I use one bucket, I don't really touch any other part of the bike. So once I'm down here, this is the last part. So I clean the wheels, the last part. And if I have to clean another bike, I usually change out the bucket to something which, you know, fresh soap and fresh water, because you will see under the grit guard all the stuff that you took out using the wash mitt. You'll see it down there. So I'll do the rest of the wheel off camera. I'll just do this rear one real quick. The rear is pretty easy. It's kind of bigger spaces, you can actually reach in there. So I just, you know, take my time, just go like that. And actually the rear one, since you're in a center stand, you can spin it. It's the beautiful part, but it's biased to the front, so it's, the weight is all in the front, keeping that front wheel down. And go. All right, so I'll just do this. Don't want to bore you guys too long. All right, it's time to rinse. Also, I feel like, yeah, besides being, you know, connecting with the bike, kind of, you know, while cleaning it, you kind of, an indirect way, you are inspecting the whole bike already, you know. And I'm sure you were thinking that while I was doing this, that, you know, you get to inspect your bike, especially from top down, because you don't really just sit around doing that, you know, on a random day. So this is like the prime, you know, the prime opportunity to do that, to inspect the bike and things like that. I see any leaks. Also, it's easier to spot leaks if there are leaks when your bike is clean. So it's just beneficial all around. I know it takes time, and you can take as much time as you want or as little time as you want to do this. Trying my best not to hit my Jeep, because that one is actually clean. I don't want to wet it right now, but doing this one-handed is a little bit tricky. Yeah, so you just wash out all the soap there, the controls. Wash all the soap out. So here it is, the drying part. I have my microfiber ready for the final touches, but I'm gonna have my sound off for this one because this is pretty loud. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just go through it, like I said, top down again, top down, and then I will remove this seat. I'll show you guys that next, because I removed the seat, used the blower in there too, because the computers are all in there. I'm sure there's water in there too. So I'm just gonna go through it with the leaf blower, and we'll dry it out. Alright guys, so I'm opening the seat now to dry it even further. So with these new BMWs, you have the heated seats, so you know it just doesn't come off. You gotta remove this, and as well as the front seat. So I have my registration taken out of there. I usually put it in a Ziploc bag because that's so now I can wash the bike. It can get wet and it's still in there. So I don't know, pro tip maybe if you guys don't already do. I'm sure you guys already know do that with any bike. So Ziploc, and taking it out. See all these water that got in here. It's sealed, but it's still better just dry it anyway. So I'm gonna take the seats out, also dry them individually, and then put it back on, and that should be it. So I'll wrap it up after that. All right. So final touches. I've used the blow dryer as much as I can. There's still gonna be droplets, but that's where the microfiber towel goes in. So that's the final step, is you do it by hand. But most of the water is gone, so it's just one wipe will basically take care of it. I use wax actually dry. I don't know, it's just out of habit. I spray it on the windshield, so it kind of adds like a very thin film of wax. So just for the next time, all the bugs doesn't kind of fly off. I put this on the this painted areas too, so it's kind of like a wax, but it also helps when you dry it. There's no streaks, so it's I like it, and it actually smells good, so I like using it. So I'm gonna go through the bike with that, and usually after I'm satisfied that it's dry to my liking, I usually, right now when it's sunny, I park it in the sun, so it dries it even further. So that's why it's a perfect day today to actually wash your bike. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. So just park it in the sun to let it dry even further. So let's just get this done. Usually what I will do is I would spray on the windshield like this, and just that's enough. That's enough. So like I said, the water, like I said, the microfiber is already damp and kind of, I already wet it and wringed it dry, and so it's kind of wet. So it's primed, quote unquote. I don't know how else to say it. So this part is going to be the tricky one. Gotta have to fish the microfiber in there. So I just realized, like, making this video, like, not everyone washes their bikes in their garage. Sometimes it's like you wash it in a car park, or what do you call this, those coin operated washing areas. And so I understand that. If you don't have the blow dryer, or you cannot plug in a blow dryer, I usually, you could ride the bike kind of fast. So and all the water would fly off, and then you kind of stop somewhere to wipe it down. So but it won't be as good as what we're doing here, but it still still works. I used to do that. Actually, because like I said, I wasn't really too anal about motorcycles, but I do on something like this. Like, I love this bike, so I kind of baby it a little bit more. So just so when I first started riding, all I was getting was used cheapo bikes, so I didn't really care much about them. But something like this, a GSA, not because it's expensive, but what the GSA does for me, I don't know, it made me fall in love with it. So I don't know, I think for you guys that have a bike like that on your garage, you know what I'm talking about. Like, I would trade, I would give up most of my bikes. If I can only have one, I would give up all my bikes and cars to just have the GSA. You can take the GSA to track, trips, camping, to the grocery, Like that kind of bike is like you fall in love with a bike like that. Because those bikes that you just only ride sometimes, they're just, I guess it's like in a relationship in a way. Like when you're only in it for the fun parts and not the everyday mundane stuff, you kind of, it's not long lasting, you know. Like you get bored of that. Something that you can use, so you can have every day in every aspect of your life, like this kind of bike like this. Many other bikes are like this, not just the GSA. This GSA is just for me, but you can have like what, you know, any naked bike, SV650, stuff like that. You don't need something like this. Even a sport bike, you know, if you're really into a sport bike and that's all you do and it's all you use, and that's it. But for me, this is the bike. I'm gonna keep buying GSAs. If they keep upgrading it and it's enough for me to upgrade, I'll keep buying them. I just wish that I could ride them how they're supposed to be ridden, you know, like a dirt bike, like a real dirt stuff, but I'm just not there yet. Trails, I can handle light trails, but gravel's fine. Sand is my weakness. I can't do sand. I just can't, like, I can't seem to wrap my mind around it. I just need to spend more time, I think, on sand. But I've fallen so many times. Not this bike, but like a dirt bike. It's just, I need that, I know you need to go fast, right? You need to go fast, don't go slow, or else you're gonna sink. I just can't keep my, just need more seat time on sand. I just don't have a lot of areas with sand. Yeah, dirt is fine, gravel's fine, rock's fine. Not big boulders, but like rocks, rocky pebbles, fine. Yeah, but my goal is I want to take this to some SVRAs, take it to some trails, and really just get over my fear of using a big adventure bike. Because that's the only missing piece for me in ownership of this bike, is I'm not very confident in doing what it's intended for off-road. No, it's not really intended for that off-road. I'm just saying it's one aspect of the bike that it could do that I wish I could at least kind of do. And, you know, just in my mind, just like, you know, I don't know, some of those things, just brainstorming. All right, I think that's it. I'm gonna put the seat back, connect the heater cables, as you can see here, and that should do it. And I'll park it down there where it's sunny and leave it to dry even further for 5 minutes while I wash the Super Duke. And that should be it. I'll give you guys a closing shot. All right, we are done. Give you guys a quick walk around. As you see, it's all clean. There it is. Yeah, so just sharing with you guys my process. I know everyone's different, or they don't really care to do all that stuff, but yeah, right now it's you know, it feels good. The seat's clean, all the handlebars clean, so getting ready for the next month of use. There you go. All right, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. I actually forgot to give you guys a startup, so parking it on the street, in the sun, and letting it dry, but also it helps dry the engine part. If you start the bike, warm it up, so just let it warm up to, like, you know, idle, just warm, just when it's, you see the temperature like in a normal way, and then you just kind of turn it off. But here it is, cold start. Cold, so I just let it warm up to like 115, 120 degrees, and